the original design was concrete slab, and the original idea was to have gravel around the house, not have the gardens too close.
Right, yeah.
And we'd already factored in that it was a bushfire area, so we needed to do a number of things. So it's toughened glass, it's double glazing. When we had the designs finished before the fires went through, in fact, but we obviously had them reviewed and made a number of changes. One of them is that the cladding of the house, which is a what's it called again?
Eco-ply.
Eco-ply is in fact a treated one that will char but not burn.
It's got fire retardant in it.
Yeah. And we took more care with the roof, so that all the panels of the roof, which is a steel roof, it's a single length, so there are no joins, so that you can't get lifting, which is how embers can get in.
Fantastic.
And all around the edge of the roof, you might be able to see, is sealed, so that you can't get embers in. So all the things that they're recommending. What else did we do?
Well, the window frames are wood, but they're hardwood, so they're not, so they won't catch too readily.
And again, the paint's are fire retardant.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
But the other thing we've got is, on the western side, this is for protection from the sun, we've got mesh screens that slide across the windows. That's where the view is, so we want to have quite decent windows there. But so those mesh screens would stop ember attack. Most ember attack from hitting the windows, which, as John said, are toughened and double glazed anyway. And one thing that we added after the fires, which we hadn't had before, was some solid steel panels for the other windows that don't have those sliding panels. Okay. They have to be clipped on.
We can lock the house down. We had a little dress rehearsal.
We did. There was a fire over at Strathewen
this summer,
a few months ago, and so we spent 45 minutes trying out and actually labelling all the steel things to make sure that we knew exactly which window was for which, or which steel panel was for which window.
And we took a bit of advice about the fire hose system, so that you can't see it from here, but the pump, there are two pumps and they're petrol pumps, and they're in a shed which was designed up according to the recommendations from the CFA and so on. And there's a reserve fire tank, which was required anyway, so that's not a change. That's something that we'd always intended. And I think those are probably the main fire things.
Yes, it might be worth saying that just we consulted with a couple over the hill who did stay and defended their house successfully, and they had taken a lot of care with drawing up their fire plan beforehand. And so Tony came over and gave us quite a detailed briefing about what they'd done. And that helped us to sort of make sure that we hadn't left any big gaps in our fire plan.
We've got PV panels on the shed roof, 1.5 kilowatts, which was just one of the parcels that you could get at the time. And we find, in fact, so far that more than meets our needs, and you'll probably see why in a minute. Because, in fact, I think we're about $400 in credit at the moment.
Really? Yeah.
Admittedly, we're on the 60-cent premium tariff for buyback. So then we've got the solar hot water, the storage,
which sometimes needs topping up.
Sometimes needs a little boost, and in winter time. The heating and cooking is on a slow combustion wood stove, and the only other heating we've got is just a pot, not a pot belly, but whatever you call it, a slow combustion heater. Also wood, of course, but we very seldom have to light that, as you'll see when you come inside. It keeps the house quite warm. Okay. Very high levels of insulation.
Right.
All of the electrical fittings, all the light fittings are either LEDs or mini fluoros. So it's a gas. In summertime we cook on gas, not electricity. So basically the electricity drives the lights and the computer and occasionally the television.
And the pump, the water pump.
Oh, and the water pump. Yeah, and the water pump.
Okay.
The roof slopes back to the entry side of the house, and there's only one rain gutter, and it's quite a short length, and I can clean it very easily, so that it's easy to keep the gutters clean. So there's nothing, for example, nothing along here, because if there were, you'd never clean it.